welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Alungemo. Thank you for stopping by in today's video. If you are new to this channel, please make sure you subscribe, and if you're a returning subscriber, thank you for checking out another video yet again. So in today's video, as you can tell, I will be talking on boundaries. So I have my points written down. If I'm looking down, it's because I'm checking out the things I've written. So I'll start by defining boundaries. And boundary is something that indicates or fixes a limit or extent. That is what boundary means. So now, what do I think boundary is? I think boundary is what happens after a request of change. What sense? So you come to my yard, you come to my space, I let you in my space, and for you to stay longer or for you to enjoy your stay in my place, for us to enjoy each other in my space, no, you have to play by my rules. Not really by my rules, but there are some certain rules that I would like you to play by, because they make me comfortable, they make me relate well with people, they make me allow people that come to my space enjoy themselves better. So those are the rules I have, and those rules are boundaries. Now when I tell you those rules and you are like, I can't deal with those rules, I can't play by those rules, now what I do after is what boundary is to me. I don't know if you get it. So what I do after is what boundary is. So that's why I said that boundary is what happens after a request of change. So I've already told you that to come to my space, to come to my garden, to come to my yard, for us to enjoy each other, you have to follow some certain rules. And if you decide not to, then what I do is what boundary is. So boundary is not really for you to change people. It's not for you to change people. It's not about trying to control someone when they come to your space. No, it isn't. Or forcing people to change. Boundary is for you. So it's what I'll do if people are doing things that don't make me feel good. What I will do when people are doing things that don't make me comfortable. Now that is why they say boundaries are for you and not for other people. So when you're setting boundaries, it's not like you're setting boundaries for the other person, like, oh, I don't want this person to do this, that. That's why they must do YZA. No, boundary is for yourself. It is not for the other person. It also keeps you in check, so you don't get affected by what everybody is bringing. Everything they throw, everything they do doesn't necessarily affect you, because you've already like bounded yourself with some rules and like some things. So it makes you comfortable, it makes you confident, and you are okay in your own space. And it's fine if those things don't make sense to other person, no, but it keeps you in check. So that's basically what boundary is. So boundary is also about believing that it's okay to say no. And we all know that it's not possible for you to talk about boundaries and not talk about no's. Boundaries are not always no's. It's like a balance between yeses and no's. So it is, oh, I'm saying no, and it is okay for me to say no. Have you ever experienced this when someone asks something of you that you are unable to do, then you feel the need to explain yourself while you're saying no to the person? You feel the need to, you just, instead of saying, oh, I'm sorry, I can't help you with that, or oh, I'm sorry, it's beyond what I can do for you, there you go, oh, I'm sorry, I can't do that for you because blah 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 blah, because if I do that for you, it will mean that I'm going to be this, that. You just try to, like, maybe to play nice. I don't really know why we do that, but you try to explain, you try to justify your actions why you are saying no. No, that is not what boundaries is about. Boundaries is being comfortable and believing that, oh, I've said no, and I believe, or I'm okay with the fact that I said no. You are comfortable with your judgments. Basically, that's what boundary is. So why should you have boundaries? I'm going to say 4 reasons why you should have boundaries. Now, the first reason is to prevent stress. And I can't stress that enough. You need not to be stressed, sis. You don't want to be stressed. You don't want people to stress you. As it is, there are so many things that are going to bring stress to you, whether you want it or not. So now having things that you can control stress you is not worth it. So you want to have boundaries because you don't want to be stressed. You want to be at peace with yourself. You want to You don't want anything to stress you out. You don't want anybody to come and tell you that, or come and make you uncomfortable, or make you do the things that you wouldn't necessarily do, make you do the things that you're not comfortable doing. Then after you do it, you now start wallowing in self-pity or regret, and you start stressing over what you're not meant to stress about. For example, now someone asks you to go out with them impromptu, and just because you don't want to be a mean person or you want to be nice, so you tell the person, oh, I'll go with you, even though you know fully well that you are not meant to go, or you don't feel like going, or you have other things you need to do, but because you don't know how to say no, you decide not to let the person know how you feel, and you just go. So you go for the outing and you spend more. You're on budget, but you spend more, and after you spend more, you're unable to work towards the goals you've already set for yourself financially. Or someone there, you did something that could have been avoided, then you start stressing over that. So having boundaries, saying the no earlier than you even putting yourself in the position of having to experience all that, saves stress. So that is one of the reasons why you need boundaries. It prevents stress. It also prevents people from projecting on you when you have your boundaries in place and people know your boundaries. Now, nobody is going to come and just dump themselves on you, because you already have like a wall. You already have, like, think of it like hangers, clips, pegs that catches onto things that you don't want to come near you. So like they catch onto those things and they hold on to them, so they are not coming to you. Does that illustration make sense? So no one is going to come to you and project themselves on you, because you've already set that space. You already have that boundary to prevent yourself from being projected upon by other people. So now, boundaries also helps you to prevent people from taking advantage of you. Now, if you're a people pleaser, you don't know how to say no. It's just a very few people who don't want to take advantage of you, because they know that, oh, talk to Mo, ask Mo, she's going to follow you, or ask No, she doesn't know how to say no. So they are going to try to use that to their advantage and ask you things or make you do things that they know it is not right. Of course, they know you won't say no. They know you're just going to take it. They'll keep, taking advantage of you, even though they can't take half of what they are dishing. Now, that is another reason why you want to have boundaries. You don't want anybody to take advantage of you unduly. See, this word is very terrible. Whether or not, people are out for people, and people are not really as kind as they are meant to be. People will take advantage of you, whether you have boundaries or not. When you have boundaries, it reduces the chances of people being successful taking advantage of you. Let's just put it like that. So that is another reason why you want to have boundaries. Now, the last reason why you want to have boundaries, it helps you to be more decisive. And how can you do that? You can do that if you internalize, you are self-aware. So you are self-aware of yourself. You know what you want. You know what makes you happy. You know what you don't like. You know what makes you feel bad. So when you know all these things, nobody is going to make you make a decision you don't want to, because you know yourself. You know what you want. You know what you like. You know how you like it. You know what makes you happy and all that. So no one is going to come and meet you, and or situations, circumstances aren't going to just make you give in willingly to like things that you know you don't like. And you can help yourself. You can become more assertive. You can help yourself in making decisions. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about is healthy boundaries you need to have. Well, I'm not going to tell you the boundaries you need to have. Just look into your life, take a step back, and think of the things that you think, oh, if I do this, I feel good, or like, if I do this, I wouldn't have to worry about me doing that. So why not do this so that I would not have to worry about doing that? I feel like I'm just saying the same thing, but I can't tell you boundaries you should have. Just make boundaries, think about yourself, and make boundaries that are comfortable. Make boundaries that you know you need to have. Make boundaries for yourself, by yourself, and yeah, that's that about that. So the next thing I'm talking about is, what is boundary not about? So boundary is not about controlling other people or forcing other people to change. We already said that. And boundaries is not just about saying no's and no's and no's, and I mean, it's also about saying no, but it's a balance between saying yes and no. You should know when to say yes, and you should know when to say no, and you should be able to say no when you want to say no. I think that's very important. So I already said what boundaries is not about. Also, I think I would love to add that with setting boundaries or with having boundaries, you can still be very kind about it. You don't have to be mean, you don't have to be insensitive, you don't have to be a terrible person because you have boundaries or because you want people to know your boundaries. Then you are a very terrible person, you are not kind. I think you can still be very kind with your boundaries. The last thing I'm going to be talking about is things you need to do to improve your boundaries. So the first thing is getting clear on your boundaries. You want to know why you are making a decision. You want to know why this boundary is good for you. You want to know why you've decided that okay, this boundary is what I am going to set. You want to believe why you're setting your boundaries so that you don't want to be wishy-washy about it. You don't want to make a decision. You don't want to set a boundary today and tomorrow you set another one. Tomorrow, I mean, it's fine for you to change, but you not being able to stand with a boundary because you don't even know why you set the boundary, it's not a good thing. So you want to get clear on your boundaries, because if you tell someone your boundaries today and tomorrow it changes, next tomorrow it changes, they won't take you seriously. And you want them to take you seriously. You want them to respect you, right? So you want to be clear on your boundaries. You want to believe you are worthy of your boundaries. You want to believe that okay, I'm setting these boundaries, I'm making this decision because I deserve to be treated in this certain ways. Boundaries can also help you to be treated in a certain way. So like people know what to bring to you and what not to bring to you. That is, if you are clear on your boundaries, you know what you want. So that's that. The second thing that will help you making boundary is implementing the boundary. So you want to implement the boundaries. You don't just want to have the boundaries in your head. Oh, I think I'm going to make this decision. I think I'm going to, or someone treated you a way you don't like and you don't tell them. So they treat you the same way again the next time. But you're like, I don't want them to treat me like this. You're just having a conversation with yourself. You're not having a conversation with the person. How do you implement those boundaries? I think you can. There is non-verbal communication. You know when someone brings a conversation to your table, a conversation that you're not interested in, or a topic you know you don't want to talk about, always bringing up these kinds of conversation, but you do not like them because you know how it makes you feel, how it ends up. So you just want to avoid the conversation at large. And the person is talking like, hey Mo, what's up? So do you know what this president did? Or do you know what this celebrity did? Yada yada blah 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 blah. And you just go, okay. They can tell that you're not interested in conversation. So those are like non-verbal ways of communicating your boundaries. Like, I'm not interested. You do it the first time, you do it the second time, you do it the third time, they should get a clue. Just keeping it very soft and light. You're not paying so much attention to it, but you're not being disrespectful about it. You get, like, you are not ignoring or snubbing the person. You're just trying to, I rather not have this conversation. It's your body language and everything, the person should get it. Well, there are some people that they don't get clues. They don't read people. They don't see anything. They only see themselves and think about themselves when they are talking. So with these people, you already know that you can't have a non-verbal type of boundary communications with them. So you have to tell such people that, oh, I don't like to have conversations about celebrities, governments, but I'd rather talk about music and sports. How about that? Do you understand? So you tell the person that you're not interested in this kind of conversation, but you'd rather talk about it. So it's not like you're just saying that, oh, I'm not interested in this type of conversation. You're also telling them that I'm not interested in this type of conversation, but if we were to talk about this, I would love it. I would prefer talking about things like this more. You have a friend and the person always shouts. And you've told the person the first time, I don't like it when you shout when you're talking to me. If you tell the person again, I don't like it. You don't have to tell the person twice, but you've told the person that I don't like when you're talking to me, don't shout. And one day you get into a conversation with this person, or you have a mini minor argument, and the person goes over the board and the person starts shouting. Now, the boundary you set is, if this person shouts, I'm going to walk away. If this person follows me while I walk away, or follows me to wherever I go, I'm going to leave the whole environment. Right? That is you reacting after you've requested for a change and the change is not being met. So you've already told the person you don't like to be shouted at, and the person keeps shouting, so you walk away. Now it is for yourself. That is why I said boundary is not for the other person, it is for yourself. Those are ways you implement boundaries. You tell them, you come direct, or you say it non-verbally. But the last thing I'll be talking about here is keeping the boundaries. So now you don't want to make a boundary today and the next time it doesn't matter to you anymore. So you keep changing your boundaries, you keep changing your boundaries. You don't expect people you're telling those boundaries to take it seriously. And it doesn't mean that you can change a boundary or you can set newer boundaries. Yes, you can do all that, but just know that you have a reason why you are changing these things, and those reasons make sense to you. So it's not just because people are not respecting it, that is why you are not keeping the boundaries. Because some people are very, very somehow, they don't respect boundaries. No matter how you tell them, they don't respect boundaries. Like, no matter how you tell them, don't do this, I don't like you when you do that, I don't want you to do this, I'd rather you not do this, they just don't get it, and they will still keep doing what they want to do. So why are you going to do? Are you going to change your boundary or like let it slide because of them? No, you are still going to uphold your boundaries and maybe look for more boundaries you set. So if they are unable to respect this boundary, put a boundary before that. So that stops them from even getting to not respect this other boundary, because you already have another one in front of that. So that is how you deal with people like that. You shouldn't be changing your boundaries or just let it slide because nobody's going to respect it anyway. Someone would. Eventually people would respect it for who you are. People would take you seriously. Because one person is not respecting your boundary doesn't mean thousands of other people would not respect your boundaries. So if one person is not respecting, you just have to look for more ways to make them respect that your boundaries, and others that are respecting your boundaries, you leave it there for them. Aside if you feel like, like I said, you have to be self-aware. So you yourself, you change. You have to keep learning about yourself. You want to know more about yourself. So because of that, it's fine for you to change some boundaries, or for you to like leave some, make some. It's fine, but at least you know why you are making those changes. Not because people are not respecting your boundaries, that's why you're making those changes. I don't think I've always been a people pleaser, but there are some times that I find it hard to say no. But with some boundaries that I've set for myself, I'm at peace. I'm not stressed. I don't have to worry about unnecessary things because like they are not even getting to me, they are not coming to me anymore. Boundaries are really good. I'm not even going to lie. Like there are some things that I don't have to worry about because like I've just said no, or I do not even entertain. So why will I now bother? Like I'm not entertaining it, so it is fine. I think boundaries are necessary for everybody, especially women, because I am a woman and I relate well to myself. So I relate more with women than other genders. Those are my thoughts on boundaries. Let me know what you think about boundaries. Let me know your take on boundaries in the comment section. And yeah, with that, we've come to the end of today's video. If you guys enjoyed it, please, if you did, make sure you give this video a thumbs up, like, share, subscribe, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.